Hello, everyone. When you think of healthy meals, you kind of think of light, won't fill me up, don't you? Not today, because we're going to make a hearty, healthy meat and potatoes meal. We're going to make a healthy stuffed tenderloin with sweet potato hash and an arugula salad. Sounds great, right? It is. Well, we'll get started on it as soon as we get back. Let's talk about pork, specifically pork tenderloin. The tenderloin is one of the leanest cuts of pork, so right away, you know you're saving on fat. Pork is also a great source of protein. You're looking at about 5 grams of protein per ounce. So a 3-ounce slice has 15 grams. That's incredible. So, you know, it's misunderstood. It's not used properly often. And what I wanted to do is show you that is the size of a real pork tenderloin. It's about 8 ounces. And 8 ounces is the perfect size for 2 people. So let's slide this back and I'm going to show you a trick. Going to put that pork in the center of our board. Take a good sharp knife, all right, flatten it, and then take the knife at the front end of the tenderloin and slowly slice in. And as you move it, you're going to slowly cut deeper. And you're going to unroll it, and then you're going to cut it again. All right, now everybody can do that. It isn't as tricky. There's no real mystique to that. And why we're doing this is so we can stuff it. So now we've opened that pork tenderloin up. Can take it right now, put it back on our plate, and at this point, I'll tell you one thing you need to get in the habit of, a little sanitizing of your cutting surface, with pork especially. All right, so at this point, the pork is ready to be stuffed. What I want to talk about next, spinach. You know, we've got a huge little supply of spinach, and I use it all the time. And spinach is one of those superfoods we've talked about before with anti-inflammatory and cancer-fighting properties. Spinach is something you should be eating pretty regularly. And look, frozen spinach goes through a flash freezing process almost as soon as it comes out of the soil. So it actually retains more of its vitamin C content than fresh spinach that's been out for a while. So what's really great about that is you can use frozen. I'm actually using fresh today. And the nice part about this, what we're going to do is just quickly blanch the spinach. Okay, you're saying, Chef Rob, what's that mean? Blanch is just a fancy word. It means put it in the pan, get it warm, and it will wilt. We need a small portion of that because it's going to be a layering inside of our stuffed pork tenderloin, all right? So we've got our pork, we've got our spinach. Then we're going to work on making a beautiful little stuffing. All the while, we're going to get this ready by putting just a slight drizzle of oil. Pan is warm. Take our spinach, put it in the pan, and what I like to do on this when it gets warm and it's flat the way it is take a little water. Put that water around the edge, and it's going to help that spinach wilt. As soon as it comes out, we'll take that spinach off, and we're going to try and take it and keep it kind of flat because that's how we're going to use it. And we want to get it all out of this pan because we're going to use the pan for our pork tenderloin. Perfect. Set that in front. I'm going to move these all up to the front because now we're going to work on the stuffing mix. So what goes in the stuffing? Some fat-free cream cheese, black pepper, diced red bell pepper in about a tablespoon, jalapenos, fine chopped jalapenos, about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, depends on your taste for spice, minced onion, and diced garlic. So at that point, you've got everything in there that we need. I take 2 spoons, and you literally start mashing this. Only takes a second. You want to stir it really well. And I tell you, I can already get the aroma of this just from the garlic and the onions and the jalapenos. And it turns into a nice little mixture, and that becomes the paste inside the tenderloin. So let's move the tenderloin to the center. And at this point, we're going to spread out our stuffing, get all that good flavor all throughout the pork tenderloin. And I know you're thinking at home, you know what? That looks easy. I could do that. I tell you, you can do this. I absolutely implore you to try. It's that fun and it's easy. Now, do a little bit of housekeeping here. At this point, we're going to take the spinach, layer it in the center, and roll this up. And as we turn it over, it becomes a nice log. We're going to take our rope, which is really just a little twine, wrap it right around, nothing fancy to this, and knot it. I've got a sharp knife. All we do is just cut right through that. And I'm going to take and put a little, about a half a teaspoon of oil. And at this point, you could spray it with your zero fat spray and put this directly into the pan and kind of flatten it. At that point, you've got it where it's searing really nicely. And we're going to move it a little bit just so it doesn't stick. There we go. That looks good. You know, it's a shame you can't really get the full aroma of this because it's incredible. I really get a great, great nose of all the garlic. Now turn it and look at that searing that it has. And you might see a little bit of the stuffing coming through. That's fine. It's still going to look incredible when you go to serve this, and the flavor of all of that stuffing and spinach will come through. Now, this is going to take a few more minutes to cook. And what I thought I would do today to keep this really simple and to flow a little bit easier is I've got another pork tenderloin. And I've got it over on the other side, and I've taken the liberty of preparing it identical to what we just did. This we're going to move over, and I want to put it on the cutting board to show you the tricks on cutting that rope and getting your pork ready. Sharp knife cuts right through it. And you're literally just cutting through every one of those little rolls where that twine was. And then pull them back. And you really want to be sure you get every one of them here. And it really isn't difficult at all, as you see. Now we're going to turn that over, find out where that one is getting caught. There it is. Pull the last few pieces off. Let's slide that right in the center. Then I want to show you something here. Look at, we're going to cut it in half because it's 2 portion sizes. And look at how incredible that is. Now, we're going to take it, we're going to heat it a little bit in the pan. And at this point, we're going to let that cook for a few minutes. And when we come back, we'll get started on that sweet potato hash. So come back and join us.
chickens, egg-laying chickens, meat bird chickens. I have turkeys, heritage turkeys, have quail, ducks, and geese. Hi, I'm Leanne Hines, and I'm the owner and operator of Levy Run Farm in Greenwood, Mississippi. I started the poultry business in 2008 because I was going to the farmer's market and everyone kept asking for fresh, where are the fresh eggs? So that's why I started in the poultry business. On a small poultry operation, the chickens have more room to actually be a chicken. They get out where they can get exercise stretching their wings. That's the first thing the chicken does when I open the doors in the morning is they all come out and stretch their wings.
I was excited to hear that she was not only going to supply me with the eggs, but she could also process chickens for me as well. You can tell that there's a whole lot of emotion and care taken into the product, which makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to manipulate it nearly as much.
Because of her relationship with the Delta Bistro, Leanne has expanded her operation to offer a wider variety of eggs.
I do have one goose hen who lays, and she lays an egg about like so. Then we go down to the large duck eggs, they're like an extra large chicken egg. And then the smaller duck eggs, the ones that are just beginning to lay, are the pullets. And then you have chicken egg. I have chicken eggs all the way from extra large down to petite chicken eggs. And then the quail eggs are quite small. She just went in and laid her egg, so she's come out to let us all know that she's done her job for the day and now she's free to visit.
It goes back to the whole idea of the community, and especially in the Mississippi Delta where little towns are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It's just one thing that we can do to help our neighbors and our friends thrive.
It makes a whole lot more sense for someone to buy eggs that were born here and laid 2 days ago than it is to buy eggs that have been shipped all the way from Pennsylvania.
One of my favorite healthy vegetables is the sweet potato. It's versatile, it's inexpensive, and it's delicious. And of course, the sweet potato capital of the world is right here in Mississippi, Vardaman. First of all, the natural sugars in sweet potatoes are slowly released into the bloodstream. That means you won't get that quick sugar spike followed by fatigue like you get from other sugars. It's minor things like this that help you lose weight and live healthy. Sweet potatoes also have powerful antioxidants. They can help prevent cancer and prevent the effects of aging. Sweet potatoes are also a good source of vitamin A and vitamin C. Vitamin C helps you fight colds and flus, but you know what else vitamin C does? Vitamin C helps your body produce collagen, which really helps your skin maintain elasticity. And I get all googly over that because that means I stay pretty. So, it's really a great product to work with. Now, sweet potatoes you can get year-round here in Mississippi. I've got a whole sweet potato right here. I have some that I've diced, and I want to show you the only trick on this. Slice it thin, and it's easy to cut through. I've had people tell me they watched some of the shows, and they noticed that we did a lot of sweet potato work, and it was difficult. So I want to show you today. Cut them in slices of 3. Go down, turn it, and cross, and what do you have? You've got a beautiful array of small pieces of the sweet potato. Why do you want to do that? Because it will cook quicker that way. It cooks more evenly. So we're going to get our pan hot, about a half a teaspoon of oil here, and coat the pan. Get the diffuser on your oil so it doesn't come out too quickly, because the trick most people don't really understand that I'm using, by putting that oil in the pan slowly, you can use so much less of it. And that's important when you want to reduce fat. Now, let's go ahead and throw the sweet potatoes in the pan. We've got a variety of other spices here. You're going to think this one's kind of crazy, but garlic, that's not being crazy if you know me. Some green bell pepper, some diced onion, little black pepper, of course. And this time, you know, I have some extra sweet red bell pepper, and I think the color will look pretty in there. You know, remember, you can use what you have. But now the kicker, now the trick, now the troca, as the chef I used to train with said, a little cinnamon. And you're thinking, wow, well, that would normally be used in sweet potato pie. But it's a wonderful flavoring to add a little savoriness when you put garlic together with it. All right, so that's the entire mix right there. Now, let's take a look and flip this so those sweet potatoes will start evenly cooking and distribute all the flavor. And I tell you what, the heat's coming up on that. We can turn it up because we really want to brown each side of those sweet potatoes. Gosh, that aroma with the garlic and the cinnamon is incredible. Onion as well. All right, now, we're going to let that sit on the side for just a moment. And I want to talk about our arugula salad. And I'm going to say, you may be asking, why arugula salad and not iceberg, as an example? Arugula contains about 8 times the calcium, 5 times the vitamin A and C, and vitamin K, and then 4 times the iron as a similar serving of iceberg lettuce. I don't think I've got to say that again. It is so much better for you. And you know, when you're searching, I got all this in a local farmer's market. This is baby arugula. And you're going to say, well, wow, it's got stems in it. You know, you're going to get in the habit with greens like this when they're babies, you can eat the stems. If it's a big leaf of spinach with a thick stem, I always remove them. But we're going to make a really light base salad dressing for the arugula. And I want to talk about how easy this is. So first thing we're going to throw in there are our julienne onions. The onions are going to take in a lot of the sauce that we're making. And this, again, is a salad topping mixture that when all put together doesn't have any oil. So you're saying, how's that possible? A little vegetable stock, a half of lemon squeezed. And I like to get it in there all I can. Some balsamic vinegar, and I mean a tiny bit, but it adds such an incredible flavor. A little cracked black pepper. Now we're going to stir it at this point and mix it all together. Because when this is all said and done, it's just got such flavor. I want the onions to get all that balsamic and stock. Now, we're going to take and throw our cherry tomatoes, which have been cut in half, in. And the key part on the cherry tomatoes, you want all the juice right in there. So now let's take our tongs. Don't want to break this up. We don't need the whisk any longer. Okay, and that's the base mix of the salad itself. Now don't forget, we've got our sweet potatoes cooking. So let's go back over there for a moment and toss those. And I can see it is exactly what we wanted. They've browned nicely. And we want to get them brown on all sides, and they don't take long to cook this way because we've cut them, remember, into small pieces. And I call this a sweet potato hash, but my gosh, it's so delicious and it's so healthy. Okay, now back to the arugula. What we're going to do at this point is throw all the arugula in. And remember, this is a portion size for 2, so we're not going to use all of this. And we want to toss this together nicely. And I'm going to add a little bit more cracked just to get that fresh black pepper taste. and kind of mix it thoroughly. You have to really toss arugula in to get it to coat because they're such long, thin pieces of lettuce. You know, not any one of the leaves are really big. So this is more an arugula, onion, and tomato salad, and it looks so pretty. It's got nice, vibrant color, great flavors. And I think at that point, you've got a beautiful coating. So let's go back now. We got to finish our sweet potatoes. All right, let's get back to this pan and toss them again. And I've said this in several of the episodes. At this point, I want to deglaze the pan, but I don't want to add any calories. This is simply water. And you're going to say, well, won't that make the potatoes soggy? It absolutely doesn't. That pan is so hot that it nearly turns immediately into steam. But look at how clean. Look at that pan bottom. You can see on this side, everything that was browned on the pan is back on the potatoes where you want it. That's beautiful. They look great. I might add a little touch more. And as you toss it, you'll notice all the seasoning is sticking right to the sweet potatoes themselves. And that's exactly what you're looking for. So I tell you, I think that we are getting to a point where we are about to find out how delicious and healthy the sweet potatoes are. Arugula is one of my all-time favorites. Watercress and arugula, the only problem with watercress, you can never find it anymore. And if you do, it's so expensive that I love arugula, which is really a bitter green. So it adds kind of a different flavor than the sweet potatoes and the pork. So this is kind of like an orchestra of food where you really want to try and think what goes with each dish so that when the whole meal is put on a plate, you can say, wow, this is great. So I'm going to make a few final preparations, and when we come back, we'll put it on a plate and talk about the nutritional analysis. And remember to check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/MPB Fit to Eat. And don't forget to like us. Let's talk about the nutritional information. 536 calories, 45 grams of carbohydrates, 40 grams of protein, 22 grams of fat, and 8 grams of fiber. So as you can see, this is a great healthy meal loaded with protein. But you wouldn't expect anything less when you put a pork tenderloin on a plate. So let's go ahead and plate this. I'm going to take our 4-ounce portion, which is about exactly what we have here. Turn that over so it looks so pretty. You got all that delicious stuffing inside. Remember, this is enough for 2, so about half the portion of our sweet potato hash. Let's put that right on the side of the pork. And I tell you what, the arugula salad, you always want to toss it a little extra right before you move it out the bowl because the salad dressing, which remember has absolutely no oil, has a tendency to go to the bottom. All right, let's put that watercress salad right here, and I like to get a couple of the nice bright red tomatoes right where they ought to be. And we can actually give a little bit more. Should be about exactly half because that's a perfect serving for 2 people that we made today. And I tell you what, that's a beautiful variety. I think I said it earlier in a promo. Pork, sweet potatoes, and spinach. Oh my! The 3 greatest things on a plate today. And I tell you, a hearty, healthy meal, meat and potatoes, but no fats, low sugar, low carbohydrates, and you know how much I love sweet potatoes. I'm always looking for new ways to incorporate sweet potatoes into my diet. How are you cooking your sweet potatoes? Get on Facebook and let us know. And thanks for watching Fit to Eat. Chef Rob Stinson. I'll see you next week.